First thing we want to fix the focus. There we go. Let's see. First thing we're going to add is a post-processing volume. And we're going to make this so we want to be able to have like dark areas. We're going to make this infinite, and we're going to skylight leaking. Yeah. So you notice this kind of keeps the overall light of the level. Fact. Where is our daylight? Fire spawner. Um, should be in world settings where we set our time of day. Get out here. want it to be midnight. So I were to actually get out there. There we go. There we go. So we'll make it on this terrace here. Here. Let's see if this will turn it today. Something to disable our energy. There we go. It's nighttime. Let's see what if our shadow changes. Yep, there goes our shadow. Yeah. Cool. All right. I'll turn that trigger volume off. We basically want it to be all the time. Sunlight at night. Yeah, I can see that. Let's not do it now. Working on a project, not to do you know how to make snow mountains. I'm searching for it for 3 hours now. What kind of snow mountains? Like in the background or like a snow mountain that you can climb on or walk on? Because you basically would have these background things, or you would have you could do it in a shader. Yeah, I can probably show you how to do that. Can you tell me just a little bit about it? Just the basic snow mountains in the normal Fortnite map where you can walk on. Ooh, okay. I'll tell you what, they probably even have it in here. If you go in the Fortnite folder, let's just type snow. Castle floor ice. Let's put it right out here. Okay, that's ice. I think so that's gonna have the slippery materials on it. But let's see if we can. I can't remember. Do they do? Oh, snow gravel. Okay, this will be a good one. This should work. So now, it's possible to find it in the landscape mode. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, okay, so a few things here. So if you go into landscape, just a second, click over. Um, Let me just flatten an area out here. This will be our little snow area. So I'll bring it out a little bit more. And then if you go to paint, let's see if they have the correct ones in here. They got biome C, biome D. It doesn't look like they have snow in here, but where is this located? Let me search for the material because all these are like gravel. All this is just a material layer. Let me see if I can't find material snow. Oh, no layer info. Okay, so perhaps yeah, so what I'm thinking here is they basically have these assigned based on this biome. So all we got to do is figure out how to assign these to, okay, so biome B, let's just call this biome B snow. And this will be the info layer for that. Now, if I remember correctly, let's see if we might have to create this ourselves. So we'll add snow for the physics material. That gives you that is the sound. So watch this. So now, what do I call it? Biome B? Okay. So hopefully you can hear this. I'm gonna cover this whole thing in biome B. Now it's gonna look like sand for now, but we'll fix it in just a second. Where the heck did I put? Where did I put biome B? Oh yeah, it should be right here. It should be updating. Let's push changes, save. All right, it's got to build these shaders real quick, but should be close. Updating, come on. It'll update here in just a second. Go, go, go. So, hey, how long have you been using the Unreal Engine? Or Fortnite, for that matter, I guess. While we're doing that, let me also, so we have the hardness, texture. See if they got a texture. Oh, they just have the snow thing in there. How could we change that to snow? Okay. Well, let's see if it's got the... Oh, it doesn't want to update. Let's see if Fab has got some snow. Like Sims before season 1. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I started playing... Well, I'm mainly an Unreal developer. But yeah, I was playing Fortnite Save the World before it was ever plowed snow ground. See these, so okay, so these are gonna have baked textures. But one thing we can do, we can actually go in the editor, the full editor, and real quick I can grab a snow texture from an asset pack. Snow. Low poly snow forest. Yeah, sure. This will work. So hey, if you want stuff, uh, if you download the editor and you get the content examples, this will have just a plethora of stuff in there. I mean, just an incredible amount of references and materials and things like that. So we'll let that download, and I'll go and open up content browser. It looks like there might not be snow in here. Let's see if this is this. There was a problem. Okay. All right, let me launch this session again, because this should, as we walk on this area right here, it should sound like snow. It should act like snow because it has that material layer to it. And I'm surprised that we don't have the ability to change the color. You know, normally there'll be a feature in here for color. That's the color master. Let me just make it this amber, this forest stuff, because just so we can almost see what we're walking on. Huh, which, interesting enough, that doesn't seem to change it. Tiling 1. Yeah, this should be. All right, so anyway, here's the full editor. Yeah, I mean, it looks identical, right? Let me grab a snow texture. Where is our snow? Let me just download snow. Yeah, okay, snow 1, snow 2, cool. So we will go to asset actions and then migrate. I'm just gonna migrate those two textures to, where did I put it? D drive, Fortnite projects, Erie Street. And we're gonna drop this in the content folder. So now, if we go back in here, I believe, oh, this is Scary Island. Scary Street and Scary Island. All right, let's migrate these again to Scary Island. And the way that they manage these is like as plugins, which is kind of weird. So, you know, you'll go to the plugins and then you'll find your content browser. You know, this content folder is where you want to drop it. All right, so we dropped it there. Now let's see if it's here. Oh, there we go. Low poly snow forest, textures, we got our snow. So we'll come back into our little layer here and we'll just drop that snow right there. This is biome B. Save it. Clearly, that is not correct, though. And it doesn't seem to be overwriting. Let's try a non-weighted blend. Because sometimes they'll have it's how do I say this? There's a number of different ways you could do it. It's almost like you got to guess which way Fortnite decided to do it. All this stuff will be obvious here in a couple weeks, but all right, so this is another version of snow. Let's just color it right here. Why is that? So what's interesting about this is it's not even removing the grass. It should remove that grass. Painting restrictions, none. So if I paint with sand, yeah, see, the sand works. And if I'm correct, let me actually, just real quick, we'll go back to this. Let's make it daytime. Might just make it a little easier to see what's going on. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, let me try this. Let's create a new landscape. What do we got here? Am I creative? Okay. Okay, cool. So here are the landscapes. Here's the backgrounds. This landscape material instance. Oh, okay. So this is one thing about the editor or the, Fortnite editor that I don't think people are going to realize is I'm just going to make a very small landscape. A lot of the assets for Fortnite are actually locked, which kind of makes sense when you think like they don't want everybody to be able to pull the models out of Fortnite. So this landscape, creative landscape, Geo instance, landscape Apollo standard. So if we go to creative landscapes Apollo, let's just type landscape and see if how weird. Yeah, you're right. I would think I would be willing to bet that they have a snow one. Hold on, dude. I'm gonna figure this out. So why can we not? So this is layer 4, layer 5, layer 6. Okay. Layer 3 is sand. Layer 4 is gravel. Layer 5 is in this rocks. And I think layer 6 should just be absolute rocks. Um, yeah, and if you hear me complain about this, like just keep in mind it is pretty amazing. As a game developer for 10 years, I've this is blowing my mind. Like how cool this is. Um, okay, so we've now created another one. So why would this? Maybe it's in the terrain features. No. Each instance of that, I'm able to select. Wait a second. All right. That's there. Let me close this out. Let me shut this instance down. Yeah. Okay. So here's Lake Ice Island and Frosty Fortress. Let's figure out what the heck is going on. Fortnite projects. We'll just call this ice level. Because if we can look at this other project and see how they handle ice in that, like, well, there you go. There's your answer. While that loads. All right, so we're loading in the ice level now. Yeah, it's a trip. There's no videos for this. You know, again, that's gonna change very quickly. Project. And, oh, there we go. Let me close out of that. Free some stuff. Free some space up. Yeah. Okay. What? What? Plugins you use are compatible with Unreal Engine 5.2. Huh. That's a weird error to get. This is 5.1, and it's their example project. I would. It's gonna open up. That was just a fluke, I think. Where is it? Ice level. All right, here we go. All right, so here's our material. Yeah, so we can't open that up, but so I guess the answer, really the easy answer, is to just create a template of a of a snow map, right? Because here, it's kind of all fixed in there, and if you want to paint gravel, what? That's the only one we have is gravel? Yeah, okay, well, gravel. And if you come in here and you can't do it, you just click this little plus button. Oh my gosh. Turned everything to gravel. What a weird bug. There's no info assigned to it. Huh. Yeah, I get it's funny how this so if I apply this, yeah, okay, so this isn't actually a bug. This is in the engine too. It's for whatever reason, this landscape has these paintable layers on it, right? But what's kind of frustrating about this is you can't you what you would normally be able to do is you could come in here and you could take this material, this landscape material, you could open it up and you could modify it, right? So you could add layers to it. You could add snow, you could add rocks and gravel. That doesn't seem to be the case, and it looks like, right, because these are cooked assets, so you can't open them, you can't modify them. And it looks like if you so this this material on this landscape basically has like one channel and it's all automated, right? So you get snow or you get rocks, and that's just based on the vertices, the vertex normal of the landscape. So obviously if you were to sculpt this higher, right, you're going to get rocks. If you flatten it out, you're going to start to get snow. Right? Yeah, obviously the flat areas are snow, the sharp areas are rocks. Right now, this might be the best that you can get. But let me ask you this: Would you want to add? Would you want to create your own snow material? Like, is that an option for you? Because I just say that because what you can do, if we come in here, we'll create a new folder. We'll just call it materials. And then it's not too bad. In fact, we could probably copy it. I can send this one to you. So I'm just gonna the naming convention here is m underscore snow landscape. Now, if you've never written high-level shaders in high-level shader language, it is very daunting, but their material editor is great. Um, so you do landscape coordinates will be our first one, and then we need landscape sample. Oh, that's how we sample stuff. Well, we just need a texture. So texture 2D parameter. This will be our snow diffuse. And then we're going to multiply this, and we're going to call this scale. Set that to 1. So basically, that will let us. Yeah, I don't really care. This will let us scale this texture. So let me come back in here. I'm just gonna grab 2 snow textures out of here. So snow. Where are those ones we had? We had snow 1, snow 2. We've got this mask, and we've got these normals. Perfect. Okay. And then we need one more thing. We need like a rock or something. Whatever. Now let's do these for now. Yeah, we're gonna migrate those. And then we're gonna go migrate them to ice level. Now I'll do this once, and honestly, I could it's just I could email you the script to this or whatever's easiest. But we're gonna make this snow 1, and then we're gonna make this snow 1 normal. Its type color should be normal. Yeah. Okay. So that was normal. Wait. I see what happened. You really don't even need a normal map. I think, amazingly, I think they've actually gotten away from normal maps with nanite stuff. Okay, so we'll put those in. We need a landscape layer blend. So this basically lets you switch between different, different layers, right? So we'll call this one snow. This one will also plug into snow. And we're basically saying that I've got some of these little opens up. Don't worry about these. We'll save these for later. But these are your layer weights, which it'll make sense when I go back into the other one. But let's copy these to here and say, this is gonna look weird, but let's just call this wood, just because I know that those textures are in here. Wood normal, and then again we're gonna hook this scale up to these. We'll set these textures to, man, they have a ton of stuff in here, which is just great to have access to all these assets you don't have to worry about. We'll plug those into there, into there. Now let's save it, see what happens. Now I'm gonna put my landscape on here. This is the one we just created, M Snow Landscape. We're gonna dump that on here, and you can see it's just basically white. If we come here and we want to paint, we have our snow layer here, and it looks like that's that wood. So we actually need another one. So go into here, and that would go into here. Yeah, this is what we need. All right, so this layer, snow, and and if you saw me create you when we're going back and forth this weighted blend, this is this is generally going to be the type you want it to be. So we'll call that wood, and then these. That's a little more complicated. I guess we don't need to do that right now. So we've got our snow texture, we've got our wood texture. It feels weird doing wood. Maybe like a rock or something. There we go. Now let's change this one to rock. And then that's our rock layer. Copy this, paste it. That's our snow layer and our rock layer. And then our normal, we'll save this. It should compile, right? Okay, now if you notice here in our paint, we've got our snow layer and then we've got our rock layer. And we'll have to hit this little plus button and create a weighted blend layer. And you just save that there. It's, you don't have to mess with that. Now, when we go in here, everything will start with that first layer, which is snow. And then, right, so if I were to paint snow on here, right, it's not going to do anything. Now, we can paint a little bit of rocks in here. So there's our rocks. And the other thing you can do, there are basic mountain modules. Maybe you can use something from that too. So the problem with that, well, let me show you this first, right? So we'll create a material instance. This is one of the most useful, powerful things in the engine, is these instances. So we'll select that instance. And then if you look inside of here, each one of these textures is a parameter, and this scale is a parameter too. So if we open up that instance, we actually have access to the scale and each one of these textures. So let me show you what that looks like. So if we start to mess with the scale, we're scaling those rocks up, right? And it's actually doing it to the snow too. You just can't really tell because it's so, trying to get to where you can actually see it. It's just so, right? I mean, it's changing the snow. It's just hard to see. Right? So once you have that material written, then you can go in and you can say, oh, actually, I don't want rocks. I want it to be wood. Yeah, I want wood. That's right. Oh, actually, you know what? I do want grass. Yeah, this stuff is super powerful. Is that grass for the wind? Yeah, okay, whatever. That's a weird normal for grass, but whatever. Yeah, so that's an easy way to do it. Now, similarly, like what you said, if we went in here and we just found some snow stuff like these snow mountains, right? So like this snow castle floor. These are, if you notice, castle floor snow solid. This is a fort playset prop item definition, right? It just means it's just like a standard prop inside of Fortnite, but it is read only. Everything in here is going to be read only. So if I double click on this, I can't open it, right? The reason for that is they don't want people, I can't pull it out. I can't modify it. The only modification, the only things I can modify are things that are defined in that class. So if I were to drop it in here, you'll have a few, like, okay, there's a material to do that, which is TD biome snow. So what's weird to me about this is that I can't find any of these, right? So it's obviously applied to it there. But yeah, again, it's just unfortunate. but yeah, it's just a limitation given what they're actually trying to do here. Um, looks like these are all world space shaders, which is cool. So everything will kind of line up. Man, there's a lot of tech in here that like I think people really underrated, like world space shaders. Right now, if you notice, if I overlap these, right, that texture doesn't move. This is something people hated for a long time. They thought, oh no, that's worthless tech. But holy smokes, did Epic make use of it? Go and save this. Man, yeah. So if you want to write your own materials, um, they're pretty easy to do. I mean, I'd highly recommend it. It's really pretty cool. If you go to Google and just type in, landscape material, you're gonna find a lot of good stuff. Like, so this one right here, right? This is like the most basic one you can do. But then you can do things. This is just overly complex. I'm trying to look for one that has the material properties or some sort of procedural aspect to it. Like this auto landscape here, which basically blends everything together. Which is what Epic uses for most of their stuff. Let's see if we can get. What are those? See, we can't even get. If I revert this, I wonder if is it going to crash? What is interesting though that you bring up is where does this snow material exist? Because it does. You can't seem to find it anywhere. This is just the standard one right here. So once you select a different material, there's no way to go back to that. Which is weird. Yeah, anyway, I'm sure that's a bug. I'm sure they'll fix that. Yeah, and then so we applied that one. Now that material does not have the snow and rock layers, so you just get this question mark. It's like, what the heck's going on? Right, so we will delete those layers. Wish they had put a snow one, right? I mean, you got kind of these rockety grass, but no snow. The other thing you can do, go back in here, grass. I want to do a grass type. And another. I'll find some. Wow, really? Nothing, huh? This is it? Yeah, they are gonna have to fix this because this is like. So these are grass types, but they don't. I mean, yeah. So I've just covered it all with cubes. But what what you would normally do is you would cover it with grass and uh, rocks, but they don't. Again, they don't. It's weird. They don't have those. The main problem here is like, so they have these, right? This is obviously a static mesh, and then they have, if you come in here and you type, rocks. Yeah, they got all kinds of rocks in here, right? Um, but because these are the type of, the class prop, you can't you can't use them as actual grass, which is pretty unfortunate. I mean, I say unfortunate. Watch this. Let me get some low poly snow forest. You can grab stuff from other projects. Let me take this. Some of these grass plants. Here we go. And let's just migrate those over. Yeah, so now we'll come back in here. Where's our little rocks? Yeah, here we go. That's gonna be a lot of rocks, by the way. It's density of 400, yeah. Now give those shaders just a moment to compile. Ooh, interesting. Looks like the material didn't come over. Oh, you know why? I can almost guarantee you that these materials have some pretty crazy stuff in them. Yeah. So like I imagine that these wind offsets are not compatible with the with this stuff. So we do have the textures for those. Let's see, snow 1, snow 2. Okay. Huh. Wait a second. Oh, they are compatible. What's going on here? So this should be snow 1, snow 01 is albedo, which albedo and diffuse are the same things. They're technically not, but anybody who tells you they're not, I wouldn't worry about it. It's texture RSA. So this is your mask. Oh, RSA. This is RHA. Well, it should still work. Now, as we compile these, yeah, again, I can't say it enough. If you go to content browser and you or the content examples, that's going to be just wildly useful. So now we got those rocks: albedo, brightness, variation, custom normal, RSA, roughness, specular, desaturation, tiling, some grass wind. Oh, okay, yeah, that should be working. Yeah, all right. So now we got our little rocks in here. It's a lot of rocks. And then if I say this one right here, get layer blend, I want this to be snow. Yeah, almost everything. So there's a couple limitations to it. I believe you have to be I believe the vertices have to be under 20,000, so you can't have like a super high polygon model, which again is weird considering it supports nanite. pull this up. Yeah, so there's a website for this. Is how to migrate things. So can't copy and paste, right? You need to go through the migration process. But there are some, where are the limitations for this? It's that migration tool. Yeah, okay, so here's seems like this is a lot of it's just a directory. Your Unreal project must be running 5.1. There were some. I just had a page open that had some of the limitations for it. But yeah, anyway, there are some limitations for it. Yeah, I think you really only have to worry about that if it's, uh, oh, here it is. Here it is. Vertices, vertex count should be under 20,000 unless proper LODs have been set. So, oh, okay, well, there you go. Points, rotation, materials. Then 3 materials to render properly in game. Okay, that's not crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, really almost anything from the content example should work. Let's try something crazy though. This is like some cutting edge stuff. Where is it? Where are these things? There's some bugs that will crawl on the wall. There's a rain system. Let's get that rain in here. All right, does that rain work? Good gosh. Oh, whatever. All right, let's just try that rain first. All right, so now we have an ice level. And sea weave. Underground tunnel, what is this? Oh, here we go, rain. Our rain system. Is it gonna work? Yep, looks like it does. Now, if you notice, it's a pretty advanced rain system. I think once is it compiling? What's going on here? Something appears to be weird when you import the materials. So if we go in here, sprite render, yeah, particle rain. There we go. A little bit better. But I had imagined, I thought the rain would have some, seems like it has a little bit of collision going on there. Yeah, so when it hits that mesh, every once in a while it'll pop out some additional sprites. But yeah, yeah, okay, again, if you download the actual Unreal Engine, and I don't know if that's too much of an overhead, but there's so much free content for that. I mean, you go to the asset store and you can pull all kinds of stuff. The marketplace, you almost just have to use the Unreal Engine as a sort of pipeline for it. Let's see. Let me see if I can get some low poly stuff. Man, low poly, 1.3 gigs. Goodness. Like caverns. All products. Oh man, I thought there might be the ability to just directly drop that into uh, Unreal Editor and Fortnite. But they do have, this Fab, which I imagine Fab will ultimately start to, uh, increase in types of like, what's available. It seems like these are all just mesh models now. There's not even textures or materials or stuff that you might want to use. Um, which is kind of unfortunate. I guess this will expand in the future, though. I hope so. But yeah, again, that content examples, that is far and away one of the best places to go for content. Save everything. Interesting. No cine. Okay, yeah. So we got some issues here. No cinematic texture is too big. Non-cinematic texture is too big. It's 1496. Used 2080. Okay, so let me show you this. It's missing an effect type asset. Type. Missing an effect. Huh. Oh, okay. Effect type in use. This project is required effect type. System is not currently using it. Yeah, fix issue. Okay, bam. Now for those textures, we'll open up all the textures in here. Right click. Um, oh, oh, resize texture import data. Interesting. They must have known about that. Let's go see if our rain is working. I think it was over here. All right, here we go. Let's look through there. All right. Yeah. That's crazy that rain is even occasionally colliding with the character, which is cool. And obviously you could slow this down, and you can make it like snow. Um, it's the content examples. So if you download the Unreal Engine and you go to, I believe, Marketplace. Now it is fairly big. Yeah, so browse, and then I think you'll want UE feature samples. And then down here, yeah, content examples right here. This is it. This has, and this will, if you, whatever you want it to do. Now this is going to go far beyond what's in, Fortnite. How to rig things, how to trigger boxes, chaos physics. It's gonna get, mental. Um, but yeah, this is again a great resource for assets and um, all kinds of stuff. System. Now I want to. World settings. Where did our player start from? Was it over here? Here. Let's start. So one thing that I thought would be in world settings, create a playset set. Let's be an island. It's in the project. So what I'm trying to find is the where we would go in and set the world settings really. Like whether your player uses stamina or not. Push those changes. Oh, you know what? Bet we can do it in here. I saw this somewhere. I just can't remember where it was. So there are a few things like what's that? There were let me try to create a few things. Called this blueprints. And I'm not sure if blueprints are actually in here too, which is kind of wild. Blueprint class. What do we need? Day. Yeah. Chapter 4 day-night cycle. So what you can do with these is, we're essentially creating these and drop, we can drop this in, or can we? Yeah, so this is, wow, this is pretty crazy. Um, this is all of your, everything that you could, everything about the lighting of the scene. Um, disable all time of day managers, right? So that's basically everything, right? All your lighting. And so I want my BP day night cycle, which is what I've just created here. And then in here, I can do essentially whatever I want. So if you want to make it like, scarier, right? So they have this global illumination going on. That when you come into a room like this is from that skylight. So we need to come into the skylight. And I'm going to do this all in class defaults. Okay, you can click on these individual components and do it, but the class defaults is probably where you're going to want to stay. So we can change the time of day in here, right? I'll make it middle of the day, but we want it to be kind of spooky. So our sunlight component. All right, here's our skylight. So it's doing real-time captures, intensity. Whoa, that's a lot. I guess it's because of the snow map. We'll do one, and then we want, where's our sun? So I think I want the light shafts. Are we getting those? Yeah, a little bit. Get some crazy bloom scales on the sun. I want some better light shafts than that. Okay, that's a little bit better. Then we want the you know what? Since this isn't doing it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a post-processing volume. I'll do it this way. I'll make this. I can't play the map. It says that it is NOPT. Oh, it is not the default map. You've just opened the editor. Did you create a project? So if you notice this auto exposure, as we go, it's dark in that room, and as we go in, it brightens up, right? So that's kind of what we want to change. The global illumination. We don't want the skylight to leak, right? So if we turn this up, oh, it looks like it's already not leaking. That's cool. Distance, we don't want that. And then our exposure. Set that to manual. Oh, and then of course we need to make this infinite, right? So yeah, there's your big. All right, so we've turned off the skylight leaking. So it makes it a little bit darker in here. But what we can do is we can set our max brightness to 410. Bright to 1. Yeah, okay. That could work. Right? Okay, so now we're outside. Everything is rosy and cozy. And then when you go inside, it gets dark. Now let me take this, my start game. If you, one of the hotkeys, if you just drop this in here, if you press the end key, it will actually it'll drop it on the ground, right? Okay, so now I need, oh, the end key, END, right under home key. That'll drop it to the ground, and then Control End will snap it to your snap it to the grid. What am I looking? Oh, I need a flashlight. Yeah, here we go. Let's put a flashlight right here. Let's push those changes and save. Ice level which marks its playset. Actors not type allowed to play playset. Actor of type. Fort minigame setting building. What? Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so now we got character. Customize flash. Let's turn that down. Stint. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Now let's actually push changes one more time. See message log, yeah. Object type data sequence. What? Oh, it doesn't want me to use. Interesting. It doesn't want me to use my own daytime night cycle. Okay. Let's delete this and we'll replace it with. See, you can't reference that stuff either. How do we delete it then? Hold on, let me put these in. Put these in a folder so it's a little bit easier to find things in here. All right. Bro, let me delete it. Oh, wait. Was it in world settings? All right, let's try this. Is there a way to fly faster in the engine? Yeah. So up here on the top right, you see that little camera button with the 4 on it. There's two things you can do. I I would probably leave that at 4. You can go between 1 and 8. But if you hold the right mouse, while you're moving, if you scroll the mouse wheel, that will increase and decrease your speed. Now we're just flying through. And then if I scroll it down, you start moving a lot slower. So yeah, the mouse wheel is probably the easiest to use. But you can come up here and your camera speed, you can turn that all the way up to 8, and then you can do a multiplier, right? So if I just even press the button, it's and this. If you were curious, this is what the skybox for it looks like, which is pretty incredible. Like, I mean, those look like 3D clouds, right? But it's just a super simple mesh. Just another thing, like Fortnite does not get it's like a kid's game, right? People just think it's a kid's game. It is a very, very well built game. All right, let's see if this works. Let's see if we get those same errors. Oh, looks like it worked. Okay, cool. No errors this time. Session updating. You could make a pretty scary level here. I mean, you can see in here. Okay, oh, so let me show you the view modes too, right? So up here on the top, we've got lit, unlit, wireframe. You'll probably recognize wireframe. And then lit is the normal one. And then unlit is also very helpful, right? Because if you're doing all this lighting stuff and you've essentially disabled lighting in your interior levels like this unlit will, kind of give you a view of what's going on, right? I mean, it's the exact same thing. You can modify everything with it. But we do need to play with this some more because we need some light in there. Where's a window where light is coming through? Oh, here we go. I need to get all my engine stuff grouped together. This is just so much junk. Yeah. It's great weather. About to jump off too. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ping me. All right, so that day-night cycle. Then we get our time of day up here. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. All right. Right, so the sun comes through, and when the sun actually comes through and hits the ground like that, that's when it should light the room up. Right, so it was 16. So even at 10, 8, I don't know. It's still a little too well lit for me. Oh yeah, you could just send me a message on YouTube. So that's that skylight leak. All right, well, session updating. Okay, cool. Come on. As soon as this session updating is fixed, we should be able to come in here and play. In fact, let me actually close this out. Do something else. I'm gonna do the auto start game, right? So I don't want to be able to edit it in that setting. Bam. All right. Here we go. Let's see if we get a dark room here. Fix all of our errors. We got our flashlight. Let's go in. What? What? This is not dark. Why is that not dark? I wonder if the player has a post-processing volume on them as well. Right, because sometimes the character will have a post-processing volume tied to their camera. And I think setting this post-processing priority will override that. Why is it stuck? There we go. All right, well, assuming this works or not, it doesn't look like it because you can still see in the side of those rooms. Huh. All right, well, I'll have to fiddle around with this some more, but yeah, thanks for joining the stream. Man, it's so cool that you can just make your own game with friggin' Fortnite. All right, see ya.